So what's going on, everybody? It is your boy QuestX coming back at you once again with another video, and let's talk some politics because I got to keep at it. I got to stay on it. So you see the title, you see the screen. Donald Trump says that I would help Nancy Pelosi get votes. If that doesn't tell you, not only this tells you several things. So let me break this down. Let me go into this. Okay, so on the surface, one would sit there and say, oh my goodness, Donald Trump has had this total change of heart. BS. It's not a change of heart. What this is political, is tactics. He understands and knows that the Progressive Caucus and several other moderate-leaning Democrats want him gone. And so what he's doing is he's appealing to the next corrupt person in the House. Okay, he's appealing to the Devin Nunes of the Democratic Party, and that is Nancy Pelosi. Okay, he needs another Devin Nunes. If you don't know who Devin Nunes is, Devin Nunes was the lapdog who protected Donald Trump for 2 years in the House. Was his snitch, his guard dog, his, obstructed multiple investigations into him. And this is Trump trying to recruit Nancy Pelosi as his next Devin Nunes. Now, one has to ask yourself, now as I say this, one has to ask yourself, why would he even be as bold to say something like that if it hadn't already been discussed? You remember how Donald Trump was inviting Nancy Pelosi to the White House and Chuck Schumer to the White House, and they were talking and they were being buddy-buddy when it came down to the Dreamers. Okay? Remember that? And then they did absolutely nothing for the Dreamers. They tripled up on money that they funded and gave Donald Trump. Okay? When they didn't have to, when they didn't stick to their guns, because I keep trying to tell people, this is why the Democratic Party wants Nancy Pelosi gone. Nancy Pelosi, and then the disgusting tactics that Nancy Pelosi is resorting to this past week, I should say. Talking about that misogyny is why people want her gone. Never mind, she didn't even try to support the Democrats that they put forth. They won. The constituents chose these people, not her. Okay? She works for donors and lobbyists, and she also, this right here, exposes her as being nothing more than a Trump lackey. Now you guys, is it starting to formulate a picture for you guys? Now do you see why the moment after the midterm elections, when every Justice Democrat, when every moderate Democrat was saying, we need to impeach him, we need him to be gone, Maxine Waters put forth articles of impeachment. Everybody was screaming impeachment the moment the Dems won. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer came out and said no. That's not on the agenda. Why? Because they're playing the same game that the Republicans were playing. The corrupt Republicans. They're the same. This is why Nancy Pelosi will not get the votes. Now, there's another aspect to this. One could sit there, as I say all of this, one could also sit there and dive into and look and say, well, the reason why Donald Trump is doing this, okay, because during this entire conversation he was having with the media this morning, he then, immediately after saying he would give her the votes, right? Because, and he's the president of the United States. Whenever have you seen Donald Trump basically offer to help anyone for free? Anyone for free. This is not for free, because immediately after he mentions that, he then, interestingly enough, threatens the Democrats with a government shutdown over the wall. You see this? This is about money, people. This is about money. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are Republican. They're not even Republican light. They're Republicans who just have D's next to their names. That's what they are. Okay, and this is why there is this civil war going on. I told you guys, 2019 is going to be very important, very important. Okay, Nancy, and I said to you guys also that Nancy Pelosi is not going to be the speaker. This right here, if there is any Democrat, any independent Democrat who was watching this today, they are running for the hills away from Nancy Pelosi. I can guarantee you that Nancy Pelosi is probably sitting up there saying, why would you say that publicly, Donald? This is what we talked about in private. Please, why would you do this? Because this right here puts an even bigger bullseye on Nancy Pelosi's back. Nancy Pelosi is corrupt. Nancy Pelosi is a Republican. She is not a Democrat. If you look at her, how she's ran the Democratic Party, it's always with this: we want to work, you know, collectively with the Republicans. When the Republicans don't treat her the same way, you want to know why? Because she's paid to do that. She's a Republican. She's a freaking snake. That's what she is. See, now this video, okay, could be taken one or two ways. You could sit there and sit back and say, well, maybe Q, Donald Trump woke up and he just became a different person all of a sudden. Okay, does that seem plausible to you? That he would just out of the blue say he wants to support Democrats now? Like, I mean, come on, guys. Nobody can be this foolish. Nancy Pelosi is a disgusting person. That's just what it comes down to. And many Democrats who are voting against her, the ones who aren't coming forward and saying they're not voting, that they're voting against her. The ones we're talking about, the ones who are staying away from the cameras. Okay? They've known this for years. They just didn't have a strong enough opposition within the Democratic Party to get her out. They do now with the Justice Democrats that have won these House races. This is why I'm telling you she's not going to win. Okay? And by Trump threatening to come in and give her votes, this will increase anybody who is teetering, who was saying, well, maybe we should continue to go the same route. I have really good house assignments, and she raises a lot of money for me. But you know what? We're going to get rid of Trump, and like she said, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. This should show them that she's selling us out down the river. She is selling the Democratic Party down the river so that she could have power. Trust and believe, this little statement that was crafted by Donald Trump had been discussed with Nancy Pelosi. But I guarantee you Nancy Pelosi did not want him to say it on national television. Because Donald Trump is an idiot, and he can't help himself because he's a narcissist, and he has to seem like he's the hero, and he has to seem like he's doing something of importance. He just he gave the game away. He literally gave the game. It's like playing poker, and he basically just showed Nancy Pelosi's entire hand, and his hand at that as well. And this goes to show you, this is exactly why she doesn't have the votes. It's your boy QuestX. I'm out.